Welcome to the Technical Writing Success video overview by Senior Technical Writer Curt Robbins.
Over the next few minutes, we're going to take a guided tour of the entire technical writing tool landscape. We'll start with the big picture, then dive into those heavy-duty authoring platforms. After that, we'll explore the hubs where teams actually collaborate. Then, we'll get into the essential utilities you'll use every single day. And finally, we'll pull it all together to help you choose the right tool for you. So let's jump in.
Okay, so the world of technical writing is just flooded with tools. I mean, from these massive enterprise systems all the way down to simple browser plugins. If you've ever felt totally lost in a sea of options, believe me, you are not alone. It can be pretty overwhelming.
And that really is the big question, isn't it? But here's the secret. The goal isn't to find the one best tool that exists. It's all about finding the right tool that actually fits your specific situation, whether you're working in a giant corporation, a fast-moving startup, or even as a freelancer.
Let's kick things off with the big guns. The powerful enterprise-level platforms that are built for creating and managing really complex documentation and doing it at scale. Now, to understand these, you really just need to get your head around one core idea.
And that idea is called single sourcing. It's all about efficiency. So instead of writing these huge, long documents, you create little reusable components. Think of them like building blocks. It could be a procedure, a warning label, a product description. You then assemble these blocks to build your final documents. And here's the magic. When you need to make a change, you just update that one block and it automatically updates everywhere it's used. It is an absolute game changer for keeping things consistent.
In this world, there are two names you'll hear over and over, Paligo and MadCap Flare. You can kind of think of them as representing two different philosophies. Paligo is the modern cloud-based system that you just access from your web browser. MadCap Flare, on the other hand, is the traditional powerhouse desktop app that you have to install on your computer.
So Paligo really takes that single sourcing idea and runs with it, all in the cloud. It is fantastic for managing documents for multiple product lines, and it is a beast when it comes to translation. You only have to translate the little bits and pieces that change, which can save a fortune. But all that power comes with a pretty serious price tag. We're talking a major investment, often starting in the 5-figure range every year, which means it's just not an option for most freelancers or small companies.
Now, MadCap Flare has been the industry standard for a long time, especially for authors who want total control over every little detail. It's an all-in-one environment where you can build anything from complex online help systems to print-ready PDFs. So what are the trade-offs? Well, it has a notoriously steep learning curve, the subscription cost is high, and this is a complete deal-breaker for a lot of people. It only runs on Windows.
All right, let's switch gears. We've been talking about creating these polished, formal documents for customers, but what about the day-to-day? The living, breathing knowledge bases where teams actually build and share information internally?
Well, when it comes to internal documentation, especially in the software world, there is one tool that absolutely reigns supreme, and that's Confluence. As our source material says, it is the undisputed king of internal wikis.
Confluence's superpower is, without a doubt, its deep integration with Jira. This lets your teams link their documentation directly to their development tasks, which creates a single source of truth for an entire project. It's just brilliant for real-time collaboration. The downside? It was never really built to create pretty formal documents to send to the outside world. And if you're not careful, a Confluence base can go from a neat library to a messy digital attic, super fast.
Okay, so we've covered the heavy-duty authoring platforms and the internal knowledge hubs. But now let's talk about the utilities, the tools that you're going to find yourself using every single day, no matter what your main writing system is.
Two of the most important utilities are all about polishing your final work. For creating crystal clear video tutorials, you've got Camtasia. And for making sure your writing is absolutely flawless, you've got Grammarly.
Camtasia is a total lifesaver if you're making software demos. It combines a really powerful screen recorder with a surprisingly easy-to-use video editor. See, unlike a huge, complex program like Adobe Premiere, Camtasia is just laser-focused on one job, helping you make clear, instructional videos quickly, with features built right in, like cursor highlighting and easy annotations.
And then there's Grammarly. Oh man, this is so much more than just a spell checker. Think of it as an AI-powered writing assistant that's like a final quality control check. It looks at your clarity, your tone, your conciseness, and for bigger teams, you can even set up a custom style guide to make sure everyone's writing is consistent, from official documents all the way down to quick emails.
So we've looked at all these different types of tools. Now, for the most important part, how do you actually decide which ones are right for you? Let's bring it all together with a really simple framework.
This table really breaks it down perfectly. Your choice completely depends on your situation. If you're in a large enterprise, the huge efficiency boost you get from a tool like Paligo or Flare easily justifies the cost. You get a clear return on your investment. But for a small, agile company, that cost is just too high. A collaboration hub like Confluence, though, is perfect for their workflow. And then, for a freelancer, it's a totally different ballgame. Knowing how to use Flare is a marketable skill you can put on your resume, while a utility like Grammarly is just a necessary cost of doing business professionally.
Choosing the right tool is a massive step for sure, but technology is always changing. So the real key to success in the long run is staying connected and just never stopping your learning journey.
As Curt Robbins points out here, the tools you choose are a direct reflection of your professional credibility. And while this quote is specifically talking about Grammarly for freelancers, the idea applies to everybody. Investing in the right tools is a direct investment in the quality of your work.
You know, the best way to keep learning and stay ahead of the curve is to connect with other people in the field. So I really want to invite you to join the community.
As your next step, I highly recommend you go and subscribe to the Technical Writing Success newsletter. And also join the Technical Writing Success group. They're both on LinkedIn, and they're both run by Curt Robbins. They're fantastic resources for sharing what you know and growing your career.
And that wraps up our tour of the Technical Writer's Toolkit. I'll leave you with one final question to chew on. What's the one tool in your toolkit that you absolutely could not live without, and why? Thanks so much for joining me.